Stop seeking happiness. Does this sound like a crazy idea? I tell you this because the relentless pursuit of happiness, as we understand it today, is often the reason we live in frustration and pain. The Buddha taught that the pursuit of happiness through desire only leads to more unfulfilled desires. But what does all this mean, and how can we find lasting peace instead? Imagine you're at the top of a mountain. You've made a long journey, you've struggled, and you finally arrived. But as soon as you arrive, you notice that there are other, higher and more magnificent peaks in the distance. Your mind can't enjoy the magnificent view because it's already focused on the next peak to climb. This is what happens to us when we relentlessly pursue happiness. We never stop to appreciate what we have. The truth is that happiness isn't a goal, but a state of mind. Seeking joy only in external gratifications is like drinking to forget. It offers momentary pleasure, but creates an addiction that inevitably ends in discomfort. To explore this concept, we must talk about one of the roots of our dissatisfaction: attachment. Attachment creates desire. We long for success, we long for love, we long for a problem-free life. This relentless pursuit leads us to constantly feel dissatisfied. It's a cycle that traps us, and we often don't know how to free ourselves. Every time we get what we desire, our hearts swell with joy, but we soon realize that new desires are lurking. Let me give you a practical example. Think of a person who desperately wants a new smartphone. They work hard, save money, and finally manage to buy it. Initially, they're enthusiastic, but after a few months, they feel dissatisfied again because they see the newest model coming out on the market. This pattern applies to countless aspects of life. Relationships, work, personal success, all are areas where we constantly find ourselves wanting more. So, how can we break this cycle? Let's start by accepting our current reality. Meditation is a powerful tool for this. It may seem like an abstract concept, but even just 10 minutes a day can help us connect with ourselves and recognize that happiness isn't found outside, but within. During meditation, try focusing your attention on your breathing. You'll notice thoughts starting to float by, but don't judge them. Simply embrace them and let them go. Once you've accepted your reality, the next step is to learn to let go of desires. This doesn't mean you should give up on your dreams and goals, but rather that you shouldn't tie your happiness to them. Learn to find joy in the simple present moment. If you're at a dinner table with a friend, immerse yourself completely in the conversation without thinking about what you have to do next. You can do a practical exercise. Write down 3 things you're grateful for every day. This will help you recognize and appreciate what you have, rather than focusing on what you lack. You'll find that as you free yourself from desires, your life becomes richer and more meaningful. Let's talk about another metaphor. Life is like a river. If we tried to stop the flow, we'd find ourselves in trouble. But if we learn to go with the flow, to float, and to face the currents, life becomes easier. In this context, non-desire means not resisting the current. It means accepting emotions, both positive and negative, as part of our human experience. There are times when life tests us. Difficult and painful situations can distress us and make us feel vulnerable. This is where the practice of equanimity comes in. It teaches you to confront challenges without running away and without being overwhelmed. Every time you face a difficulty with this mindfulness, you take a step closer to true inner peace. Imagine showing up to a meeting with a prepared presentation and discovering that your computer isn't working. You might feel frustrated, but instead of holding on to this emotion, you can choose to breathe deeply and approach the situation calmly. This attitude can lead to a profoundly fulfilling experience, where you learn to react constructively rather than giving in to a bad mood. Another example of how non-desire can lead to peace is the practice of setting loose goals. We often set goals that focus more on the outcome than the journey. Our daily experiences become burdensome because we feel like we never live up to expectations. Try transforming these goals into simple intentions. Instead of saying, I want to lose 10 pounds, try, I want to take care of myself and eat healthier. This shifts the focus from possession to living, from outcome to practice. We now come to a very interesting aspect of our daily lives. Nowadays, we find ourselves in a world bombarded with stimuli. Every day, we're offered new ways to be happy, whether through fashion, technology, or lifestyle. It's a cycle in which we constantly feel inadequate. For this reason, it's important to detach ourselves from this misconception of happiness. True joy lies in our authenticity, in the little things, in moments of connection with ourselves and others, rather than in externals. Learning to say no is a fundamental part of this process. We often feel obligated to say yes to other people's expectations. But this distances us from our true essence and our happiness. Take time to reflect on what truly makes you happy and surround yourself with people and situations that bring you joy and serenity. Do a little exercise in your daily life. The next time you feel compelled to say yes, ask yourself if this decision brings you closer to your true happiness. If the answer is no, don't be afraid to say no. Therein lies great strength. Furthermore, always keep in mind that non-desire doesn't mean becoming apathetic or indifferent. On the contrary, it implies a deep commitment to the present. It's possible to live with passion and vitality without being trapped in the bondage of attachment and desire. For example, when you have an intense experience, like a concert or an outing with friends, live in the moment without thinking about what you could have gained from it. Enjoy the energy, the music, the laughter, and then let go without trying to hold on to that moment. We've touched on many points today, but I want to close by leaving you with a reflection. True freedom and happiness don't come from what we possess or from the constant search for what we lack. Authentic happiness comes from within, from the ability to embrace life as it is, with all its ups and downs. When you stop looking for your happiness in the outside world, you open the door to inner peace. Recognize that life is a journey, not a destination. Acknowledge your desires and ambitions, but don't allow them to become chains that imprison you. Be mindful, meditative, and grateful. And so, as we move away from this path of desire and pursuit, we can discover the possibility of living with a light heart, free from expectations. Remember that the journey to a healthier and happier life is always ongoing, and that every step counts. Stop looking for happiness and start living it.